Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my Survivor Heroes vs. Villains review of episode 5. Now, we last left off at Cirie getting completely blindsided, which was a great blindside. So we're back at the heroes camp and JT has a lot of explaining to do. Rupert's upset, James is upset, Amanda's probably really upset, like sure enough she is upset. Kobe on the other hand, he's like, JT is a hero, he saved my life in this game. JT is basically playing both sides of the fence here, so he's playing a very dangerous game because, as you know in Survivor, if you play both sides of the fence, eventually that's going to catch up to you and you're going to get bit in the ass. So I definitely see JT's edit as the guy definitely in the middle, but somehow he's going to lose. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to get voted off, but when he does get voted off, it's going to be a complete blindside on him. So we go to the next morning at the villains camp, and Coach is basically having the whole tribe do a Master Mega Dragon Chi class he's teaching, except one person isn't participating, and that's of course Russell. Russell is searching for the idol. Now this is good and bad because, as you know in Survivor, it's not good to go off on your own and be by yourself, because if you're away from the group, then that means you're not socializing, which means you're going to be the odd person out. Now, Russell's looking for the idol, and everyone knows he's looking for the idol, so that definitely puts a target on his back. But sure enough, the Idol King found the idol. So he definitely has that now, which makes him a very powerful person in this game. And as we all know, Russell knows how to use those idols, so it remains to be seen what he does. So now we're up to the reward challenge, and this challenge is a very physical challenge. I love challenges like these because I want to see a lot of brutality. So you have basically 3 from each tribe in a pit, and the other 3 people is going to be on a platform. So they're basically, people in the pit is going to try to get a ball and throw it to their partners so that they can try to throw it into the basket on the other side. So as you know, as you've seen, it's extremely physical. The guys get at it, and James somehow falls really hard on his knee, and it looks like he tore a ligament in his knee. I mean, it looked vicious, it looked harsh, it looked like he was in so much pain, and I do feel for him because even though I don't like him this season, that was a really severe hit he took, and you can tell he was not able to walk at all. And I don't know what's going on with James, because it's like last season, the last season that he did participate on in Micronesia, he left out of medical evacuation because he had some kind of hand injury, and now it seems like now he got another injury. So it's like, will he be leaving again due to a medical evacuation? I mean, that would be really, really messed up. So they stopped the challenge. The doctors come in, they look at him, and they deem that he's fine for now, but they took him out the challenge so he can like rest it. So they wrapped his leg up. So the challenge goes on, and basically it's just brutal. I mean, Rupert hits Jeri, and she hits her face on a post, and it looked really brutal, and he tried to help her up, but you know, she didn't want to hear nothing of it. And pretty much the villains won this challenge. They dominated, and as a reward they got a chocolate feast. Now just imagine, you haven't eaten nothing in days, and now you're getting rewarded with all these sweets. I mean, it looked delicious, it looked so divine to me. All those chocolate cakes, candies, cookies, everything you can imagine, chocolate milk even, and they were all just scarfing it down. And I wonder how bad their stomachs were. You can imagine how bad their stomachs were later on that night. But yeah, they're all in some kind of private area, the villains, and Rob and his people are talking about how they know Russell got the idol, they gotta flush it out, so they gotta take care of him. Russell tells Parvati, his sole alliance member, that he found the idol, and he basically tells her that, you know, gonna ride my coattails. But Parvati, being Parvati, saying, you know what, I don't ride people's coattails, you know what, I gotta give her credit for that. So it remains to be seen now. The showdown is set. Boston Rob versus Russell. You know the showdown is going to happen, it's bound to happen, and as we've seen in the next previews of the next episode, it looked like it's bound to take place. So Russell's realizing that he needs more help. He needs more than just one person as an alliance member. So then he turns to the one person he feels he can trust, that he knows will be loyal to him, and that is Coach. So he tells Coach that he found the idol, and of course Coach feels honored, he feels privileged, he feels like this is such a momentous occasion that Russell trusted him in something major, that, you know, to hold a secret. So it looks like Russell got Coach in his back pocket, which remains to be seen, but I think he does got him in his back pocket. So now back to the heroes camp, they're all talking about James. Obviously they want to know, is he going to be leaving the game, is he coming back? And sure enough, James comes back and he's limping, and He's barely walking. Amanda's all emotional because that's her buddy, that's her guy, and she pretty much showing her cards that she's going to always be loyal to James and not vote him off, which remains to be seen there. So James is back, which doesn't sit well with Tom because he wanted James to be gone. Definitely would have helped him out tremendously. So James is back, and that remains to be seen what he can do. Now we're off to the immunity challenge, and this challenge is a challenge that took place, I think, in the Amazon. If I'm not too sure, if not the Amazon, it was in, I think, All Stars. So this challenge is basically one person is going to be a caller from each tribe, and the rest are all blindfolded and paired up, and they basically got to pick up 10 puzzle pieces, put it back on their mat, and then once they're done, they can take their blindfolds off and start putting the puzzle. So this obviously is a physical challenge as well because everyone's bumping into puzzle pieces. Jeri's the caller for the villains, and for the heroes, it's going to be James, since James can barely walk. Now, James isn't a vocal person, so you gotta kind of question now how he could be able to talk. But sure enough, he did actually a good job. He was yelling, he was screaming, he gave directions, and everyone listened to him. It was neck and neck. Both heroes and villains got all their puzzle pieces, so it basically went down to fixing the puzzle. And as we all know, the heroes have had so much problems fixing puzzles this season, and sure enough, they lost. The villains won once again, victorious. Heroes heading back to Tribal Council for the 4th time. Now this all sits really bad for Tom and Kobe because they know they're still on the outs. Now they think they have JT in their corner still, and maybe Candace, but it just remains to be seen. So they're all feeling sorry for James. Rupert and Amanda still wants JT on their side. JT is saying, well, yeah, I'm going to be voting for Tom. They want Tom off. So it's at Tribal Council, and they're talking about it, and James is just can barely walk. You would think the obvious choice would be take out the person that can barely walk now, because James is pretty much useless to a certain degree. So sure enough, they're at Tribal, and what happens? Tom gets voted off with at least 5 votes, so he becomes the 5th person voted out of Survivor Heroes vs. Villains. A big mistake from the Heroes tribe. They basically got rid of a guy who's a previous winner, who's a tough, strong challenge presence, and they kept the guy that has 1 leg. Just a horrible, dumb decision from the Heroes. At this point, I'm completely done with them. They're just washed up. They're incohesive. They're not showing no unity. They're done. I'm done trying to root for them. They're just done. I want the villains to just slaughter them now, because Tom did not deserve that. He deserved a lot better than that. And you know what? The heroes, they're going to know they made a big mistake, because James can't do nothing anymore. He's just done. So next week promises to be really good. Unfortunately, Survivor ain't going to be on because of the NCAA tournament, basketball tournament, which I could care less about. And so in 2 weeks, Survivor returns on a special night, Wednesday instead of Thursday. And as we all seen from the preview, like I was talking about, Boston Rob versus Russell, the showdown finally takes place. So I can't wait to see that. That's my Survivor review. That's all I gotta say for now. Peace.